Okay, guys, let's start our today's session. Okay, let's do quick revision on what we discussed on Friday. So I want at least a single point from everybody, please.
We discussed on the IOC with examples and dependency injection.
Okay. IOC and DI. Okay, first point about IOC. So did we forget or do we need to?
IOC advantages.
No, no, no.
IOC advantages.
Okay, I got it. Like, but I want to know like what is IOC? Then what are the advantages of IOC? It'll be really helpful if you can recap what is IOC.
Is going to maintain the life cycle.
Okay. Maintain the life cycle. But before going there, what it will do? I need to know what exactly is IOC.
It is a principle.
Okay. IOC is a principle. Okay. So yeah. IOC is a principle in software development or software engineering by which the control of objects are transferred to framework. We discussed about it, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Engineering or which we transfer. Okay, control will be transferred to control. Okay, next please. Okay, please go on. Next advantages, please. What it will do to maintain the life cycle. Okay.
Using IOC, we transfer the
I'm getting the answer.
it will take the
I'm getting answers only from few people. It'll be really appreciated if others can pitch in. Seriously, guys.
Create the objects
Okay.
for the beans.
So responsible for creating the beans. Okay. Guys, if you don't understand, please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. I will be more than happy to explain again. Right. Next, please. So if you guys want me to call by names, I can do that. If you guys don't want this to be an interactive session, sure, we can do that as well. But I'm just doing this because it will be really helpful to recall on the previous class, and we can continue from where we left over. That's why I'm doing this. Right. If you guys want, I can start one more point and we can take it from there. Right. So with this, we can decouple the code, right? Decoupling is easy with IOC.
Yes.
Decoupling is easy, right? Next.
It is very easier to switch between objects in IOC.
Good point. Switch between objects is easier, right? Is it possible to achieve modularity based on the things which we discussed just now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So from all these things, is it possible for us to do the unit tests very easily without depending on any other objects, right? We can mark whatever the dependency.
Yes.
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 Okay. Can I frame ease in testing?
Yeah. Is interesting.
Okay. Right. Now let's go into DI. Let's discuss about DI. Right.
So basically, the dependency injection means that we are injecting any object into a class. Yesterday, we have got an overview of the types of DI, dependency injection, that was setter and constructor, and one was field-based dependency injection.
Okay, we discussed about constructor and setter based, and I told about
Yeah.
field based, but we didn't have time to discuss about that. Today we'll do that. So types
Yes.
of DI. Okay. CONST or constructor based and setter based. Okay. We will discuss today about field based. Okay. So any other things which we discussed about dependency injection? Did I mention something like is it a principle or a design pattern or something like that?
It is a design pattern.
So we discussed about is a design pattern as well.
Yes.
Okay. So if you guys have any questions so far, whatever we discussed, I'll be more than happy to explain again. Or if you guys have any problems in setting up your environment or not able to create or not able to do your assignments, if you have any questions on that, we'll discuss it just before we start today.
Okay. Harish, I have a question on the assignment related. So we'll okay, as you said, in the last.
No, we can do it right now if you want.
Okay. So can I share my screen and show that to you? Is it fine?
Yeah, for sure. I'm stopping the share. You can go ahead and view.
You're able to see my screen, right, Harish?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah. So I have created 3 pages, Harish. One is to hold the buttons of register and login,
Okay.
and another two get for login and for register.
Okay.
Okay. So I have created 2 servlets. Login for login and register for registration.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Right. So next thing, I tried to run this application, but when I am trying to access, 1 second. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show. Let me run it. So here I am seeing these two buttons,
Okay.
but it is not navigating to the correct. I mean, it is not picking the correct HTML page.
Okay. So can
Not
you open your
picking
web page, index.html?
index.html. Okay.
Okay. Form action equal to input type equal to submit register. So, okay. So what did I tell you about action? If you give specify anything in action, it has to be a servlet, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's
Right.
open .xml. Let's see what you configure.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So
One more thing. It should be in double inverted comma.
yes. Where is that?
In the action value will should be
Yeah,
in double inverted
double
comma.
inverted commas, right?
Oh, okay. Here you are saying.
Yeah. Oh, it's not there.
This one.
Yes, yes.
It's in double inverted. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe you should mention the method type also,
Then
like it is a get
if you
or
don't
post or
mention
something.
anything, it will take get.
Yeah, it will be get. Yeah, it will
Yes.
be
Yes.
get.
Servlet name. Okay. Servlet mapping. Okay. Cool. Register. Okay. Let's go to register. What do we have on register? Okay. But it's just a button click, right? How can you expect some parameters here?
No. Actually, this register is for register page. This one.
But you gave it a form action, right? Okay. Let's make it as a hyperlink. Give it in the A instead of giving it as a button. So that will take you to the HTML page.
Oh, okay. Here you're saying. Okay.
No. Instead of form,
Huh.
let's make it as a anchor tag.
Okay.
Okay, anchor tag will not have action. It will be having href.
Yeah.
Yeah, register.html. There won't be any input. Okay, won't be any input. You can give the name of the reference. Let's say register. Yeah. Please specify it whatever the name you specified for the file. It has to be login.html and register.html.
Okay.
Yeah. Now try to run it. It's still coming as a button. It's not supposed to be a button. It's supposed to be hyperlink now.
Let me start again.
No. Clean the server and delete the project. Clean the server. Here, stop it. Okay, take out the project. Click on the project. Day one assignment. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Clean it. Right click. Clean will be there. Yes. Now you can go and start again. Run it. Run on server. No. Okay.
Just
That's good. Okay. Click on the project.
yeah. Okay.
Run as on server. Something is wrong. No. Still going to. Okay.
Bindu, can you show me
People in
.xml?
files.
Web.xml.
Yes, yes.
Can you go to exactly?
Here, package name.
First assignment. That's correct. First assignment.
Register is a Java class, right?
Yes.
So form.first.assignment up to this.
Let's do this. Copy and paste it in the browser. Let's see if there's a cache issue with the cache. Yes, now it's working. Okay, register.html. It's not able to find register.html. Login.html. It's not able to find. So it has to be day underscore whatever the context name, and then it has to be that. It will find.
Let me just.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
The context name you need to include.
Okay, but in this, in index.html itself, I need to include.
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, just paste it. No. It has to be in the double quote again. Take out that extra /.
Yes.
Now run as on server. We don't need to debug anything. Okay, just refresh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, now it is
Good, right?
right.
Okay. Any other things?
Yeah, actually, you have shown to reset the password of MySQL DB, right?
Yes.
That is not working for me.
Okay. What is the problem?
When you ran that command in the command prompt, for you, it run in background and given the given the that C drive again, right? But for me, it is showing it is starting.
Okay.
How can I? 1 second. Harish, can we discuss on this DB connection after? Because I need to ask the admin permission from.
Okay. Anyway, just to let you know, guys, if you guys ever okay, let me put it this way. You join your projects or respective projects, right? So you won't be having chance to do all this reset and everything. Your admin will take care. Maybe they will provide you the connection. Okay.
Okay.
So you until unless if it is your if you are deploying your MySQL in your local, if you forgot anything, then you may have to do this. Otherwise, in the real-time environment, there won't be any. You may not be having admin access to your DB, so you may not be able to reset all those things. But anyway, we'll see it later if required. Okay. If it's
Yeah. Thanks.
anybody else has any other problems, concerns about the IOC setup or anything? Okay. Is there some? Do you guys have issues with internet? Because I'm seeing the same person dropping and coming back again. Okay.
Yeah, it is me, Harish. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just asking, is it problem with me, my connection, because I'm the host?
No.
Just
It
trying to
is
understand.
problem with my connection actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mr.
So
Actually,
if you guys do not have any other problems, we can proceed with our training, because today, as promised, we will start working on the Spring.
Yeah, we should.
yes.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is done. This is good. Now, as I promised, so we haven't covered basically dependency injection based on field, right? Let's do that right now. Let's do it quickly. Okay, let me go to my beans.xml. Okay. So when it comes to field based, basically we call it as auto wire. So we can do auto wiring based on constructor again, or based on by type, or based on by name. If you don't specify anything, that is no. If you specify no, that means we are not auto wiring anything. Else, let's say if I specify default for the first time, it will search by type, then it will go by name. Sorry, first it will search by name, then it will go by type. My bad. Rephrase it. Let's do one by one. Now let's create one more bean for both student and department. Let's name it student 2. This is a regular bean creation, okay, using XML files. Now let's see how we are going to inject this into the department by using AutoWire. Okay, for now, let's go with name. Right. For that, need bean. Okay, my ID will be department 3. Class is the same class. Okay. Now comes AutoWire. Right. It's not a candidate, it's AutoWire. Let's say I'm going by name. So my name is whatever I configured here, student. Let's configure that to student. Okay. Now let me get my bean which I just created for department. So I just created department 3. Department 3. Department 3. Let's quickly run it. Okay. Now if you observe properly, our last statement, oh sorry, pardon my, I forgot to rename it to third bean. But if you see this, the last one, okay, whatever we're printing, it is picking the updated value, RSPN2. How will it pick? Let's see the configuration again. Right. If you come to here, I told AutoWire by name, right? So my IOC will understand. So I need to do some connection between I need to inject the dependency by using the name. So what is the name I did? Let's go back to our Java file again. Okay. See, I have private student as a dependency here. I declare it as a private student. This is a name which I created, right? And I need to create always a getter for this, setter and getter. Okay. Basically, setter is important. Getter, it's okay. That's up to you. So based on the name, my IOC will configure it. Any questions on that, guys? Okay. Now let's do the other way of configuring the AutoWire. Let's say I want to do it by type. Okay. Now let's see that again. Okay. Let's make it 4 and let's make it type. Right. How do you guys find the type of the object or type of a variable? Question to you guys.
Checking the data type.
That's for variables, correct? And how about objects?
Declaration.
Basically, checking the bin ID.
No. There is something called. Have you ever heard of instance of? By any chance?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So that will give us the type of the object.
Type of the object. Yeah.
Okay. What is meant by type? Type means. Okay. Coming back to basics again. Okay. So if you have to create a object, so what is the syntax? Let's go into test Java. So because we did that already. This is the one, right? So by using, I mean, this is one of the many ways which we do, but this is a very basic way, right? So now we can tell the syntax. We can tell that this student is of type student. We know, but how IOC knows? That's by using this instance of operator. It will literally evaluate when we deal with the XMLs. Okay, to find out, to figure out. Right now, let's get back to our dependency injection. Okay, I just mentioned by type, right? So first it will find out what are the auto-wire configurable or dependency. Okay, let's back to basics again. First, IOC will understand whenever it encounters something like this by type. First, it will look for the potential candidates. If you go back to department Java, okay, so it look for the potential candidates. Here, the potential candidate is student. Now, in the IOC container, okay, it look for the student object. What kind of objects we have there, right? We have multiple objects. Let's see how it will behave now. Changing it to third bean. I'm changing it to fourth, just for understanding. Okay, this is expected. This is expected. Okay, this is one of the flaws with this, right? Why? Let's see. Unsatisfied dependency expression through student. No unique bean of type student. What does that mean? That means there are multiple objects of type student. Just now I mentioned how it will figure out type using the instance of, right? Now let's go back to our beans.xml. Let's see what did we do wrong here. If you see, we created two beans of the same type. Now my IOC don't know what to do. Okay, doesn't know what to do because it has two, right? We will solve this by using there is a concept called we can use @qualifier. We can do the same in the configuration. Okay, I'll show you guys how to do that, but this is one of the drawback. This is one of the drawback for this auto-wire thing, right? Going forward. Now let's see how. Okay, I will show you this auto-wire directly in the when we implement this project. It will be easily you guys can understand easily how to do that. Okay, when we go into this annotations and everything, right? Now let's see how default works. Right. So I didn't specify anything here for default, right? So I don't know what to do. That's why it didn't inject anything, right? Let's cover all these scenarios directly in the web application. Now moving forward to web application. I hope you guys have all the jar files which I provided, and I missed one of the jar file, that is HTTP servlet. probably you may have to download by going to Java Tools. If you want, I can provide you the link. Okay. Guys, yes, no, are you guys able to download, or do you want the link?
Already downloaded, Harish.
No, I missed some. I missed one of the jar file which we mainly.
Yeah, yeah, I have already downloaded it.
That's cool.
But you may share the link.
Yeah,
again.
if you can share the link, that will be really helpful, please.
Harish, I think we can get that jar in the Tomcat itself, Tomcat library.
Yeah, that's also cool.
Yeah.
It will come with that. In case,
Yes.
because when you are building the project itself, there will be some red color marks on your project, which personally, I don't like it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here.
Yeah. Now let's say creating the dynamic project. Guys, we are not doing in the Maven way. I will, once we are done with this Spring application, I will show you how to do the Maven way, because I just wanted to show what is the advantage we are gaining out of Maven. That's why we are doing the old way. Okay, the old method. Again, creating a new dynamic web project. Excuse me. Right. Let's do this by naming truck fleet. Okay. Small letters, capital letters, anything is fine. Let's go truck fleet. Next. I want to generate my web.xml. Right. Next. Okay, now I want you guys to paste all your jar files here.
Done.
Cool. Everybody done with that? So if everybody were done with that, somebody might, okay. If anybody didn't do it, please let us know. So we'll wait. Just give 2 more minutes to find your appropriate locations where you pasted your jar files, and then we can continue. And please do add everything to the build path if it is not done already. Something like this. Right click and go to build path, add it. Otherwise you will be seeing that red color mark everywhere. Okay, so for this I'm telling you guys, I'm not an expert in the front end. Okay, please pardon my front end, but I'm using this Bootstrap 3 for this development, just to for our understanding. It'll be easy to, instead of just putting 2 boxes and telling it's a username and password and then giving the truck details in the plain boxes. So it'll be easy if you represent it properly. So I'm using Bootstrap 3. If you want, I can provide you with the website to download. Just give me a minute. Okay, where is chart? Chart. Okay, that's the website. Download version 3.3.5 if you can. Else the latest is also good because it has backward compatibility. Or if you guys want me to paste it in the chart because it's just a single liner, it's good. If anything is fine for me. Maybe I'll do that. I'll paste everything here. please name it bootstrap.min.css. Boot strap dot css. Okay, I need bootstrap min.js as well. So you can find this this file also in the same website which I provided right now, or else if you want I can copy paste the same again. This time it is bootstrap dot js. Okay, and that is the content for that. And there is a dependency for this JS on Jquery, so we need that as well. So you can download the same in the same website, else I can provide you that. This time please name it after Jquery hyphen 1.10.2.min.js, because I'm using that version, or else you can name anything, it's up to you, but it has to end with .js. It's a JavaScript file. I guess there is some restriction on how much content I can paste because I'm missing something there. But it will be better for you guys to download it than using mine. If you want, I can open that website here. Come on, not right now. Don't be too slow. Okay. You can download it here. Or if you want just the version which I'm using, just go to all versions. There will be 3.3.5. Just click on this and download Bootstrap. That's all. That's all you need to do. Okay. 3.3.7. You can unzip it and paste it in your project. So I'm doing it in the style. I'm taking it as a style package, a folder. Under web content, under paste it here. Okay. So if everybody is done with that, I'll just expand just to know what we have there. So the same content, whatever I gave you guys, just to show you. Pardon, my Eclipse is not responding today. I guess I didn't restart it. Okay. So if everybody is okay with that, we can proceed further.
Yes.
Guys, ready? Can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
How about others?
Harish, do we need to download the Jquery also separately, right?
Yes, please. Okay, do you guys have access to the drive right now? So if you guys have access to right drive to right now, I can paste it here. Please download it. Anything will do. Maybe I'll keep in the this day 2. It'll be easy for you guys. So you guys downloaded it, right? So can we proceed?
Yes, Harish, we can.
Okay. So how about others?
Yes, Harish.
Okay. Guys, I need a response, guys. Please. If you guys want some more time, yes, I'll give you some more time. Else, if everybody is okay and everybody is done with their setup, we can proceed. So can I take that as yes and I can proceed, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay, cool. Now let's go from the top to bottom approach. Okay, building the application. Right, now what do I need? So I
Harish,
yes please.
there is one jar, antler hyphen runtime. What is this?
What is that?
Yeah, in the style.
Oh, in the style.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I don't have
Oh,
that.
you don't have.
I don't have that.
Actually, I have downloaded from your drive you shared.
From the drive which
In
I
that I have. Yes, yes.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Day 2 in the style. Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
This one.
Sorry guys, I was working on something else and by mistake I added it here. You don't need that.
Okay, no problem.
Delete it.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, hope everybody has a content. If you want, I can share the content. Let's read that again. So the problem statement, we need to provide a solution for managing the trucks. It's a very simple application. It just has to support multiple logins. So which means I need a login page, and we should be in a position to add a truck with some of the attributes which they provided. So I need one more page. I would say add truck page, right? And then they should be able to search the truck based on anything, whatever they want. Let's say a VIN number or truck license plate or model. So for that purpose, I need a search page, and then they should be in a position to edit the added truck, edit the existing truck. All right. So for that, I would say I need one more page, that is update truck. Let's name it update. Right. So let's start from the beginning. So first, I need a login page. But what did I tell you? What did I tell you guys about web applications? So if you go to web.xml, so there are a bunch of files, welcome file. Do we have a welcome file here? In most of the applications, your welcome file may not be login file. Your welcome file may have some content about the, so to explain about the project or to explain about the your application. It necessarily doesn't have to be a project. It can be your personal blog also. So it needs to provide some information, some kind of information to the user. Let's say I will create under WebINF, I'll create a file by name index.jsp. This time we are going with JSPs because I just wanted to show you how to configure view resolvers. And when we come to view resolvers, I'll show you what exactly is a view resolver and why do we need view resolver. Okay, so JSP file. And guys, you can use JSP in your HTML, sorry, in your servlets also. There is no mandatory that you have to only use HTML. Okay, so you can use your JSP also. Internally, our Tomcat server has capacity to convert those JSP pages into servlets, right? And it has capacity to compile and give you the result. So don't worry about that. Please feel free to use JSPs. Let's name it index.jsp. Right. Okay. So we may be using JSTL tags here. Okay. I told you that's a way. That's the other way around to use scriptlets. Okay. So we might be using JSTL. Right. Let me introduce the name here. I'll name it like fleet management. Right. I don't know what to write. Let's say managing the truck details. If you have any good nice ideas, you can write it. Again, I'm telling, I'm not an expert in the front end, guys. I'm just trying my best to show you guys how a web application works, and then we move forward to the service oriented architecture, basically services. Just to give an example, how we used to build applications and what is a new way. That's all. Right. So now let's run it. I didn't do anything. There is no configuration. I didn't create any servlet, or I didn't create any other page apart from index.jsp, and there is no code which will handle my requests or responses. Let's see what it will print, what it will display, why it has got to display. Okay, I'm just again the same way, run as on server. Guess I should have restarted my PC. Sorry guys, bear with me for some time. It's too slow today. Okay, initializing, everything is good. Servlet engine starting. Perfect. Okay, there is some problem with truck fleet is not found. Truck fleet. Let's do index.jsp. Okay, it's not willing to disclose that one exists. What is my problem? I have index.jsp. Okay, here you go. So I'm supposed to create in the web content. Okay, that's why it's not able to find. It has to be in the web content, guys, not in the web INF. If it is in the web INF, my servlet container are not able to pick the appropriate location. It's a problem with the context. Now let's see. By any chance, if you guys have created in the web INF, please move it to web content. It should work. Okay. Now I don't know what I have to display, so I'm just displaying managing the truck details. So if anybody wants, they can decorate using the CSS. Right. Now I want to instead of creating the login here itself, I just wanted from here to redirect to my login page. Right. How can I do that? First, I need you guys to add this jar these libraries. So how do I add a library? So there is a annotation called, or you have to, okay, I'll provide you this. Where is my chart? Okay, all you need to use this taglib library, and we should be good to go. But just paste it. I'll show you what exactly it will do. Right. This is a way to tell my Tomcat. Okay, there is something when you are doing when you are compiling this JSP into Servlet. Okay, there is something which you need to do, which you need to look for. So I'm telling it's there is a tag library. So whenever some kind of tags, what kind of tag? Tag is anything like this. Body is a tag, right? So whenever there is a tag which starts with C, this is a prefix name. Okay, that has reference to this one, this JSTL core. This is related to the jar file. And the jar file, if you open your lib, there is a JSTL jar. Any questions on that, guys? Don't ask me what exactly it will do. I'll tell you what exactly it will do right now. But we are in the process of understanding what is JSTL. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. Right, there's no questions. Moving forward. So I want to redirect to login page. Right. So redirect. So you can just directly provide your URL. So I am saying it. Let's say login. Now I didn't specify anything here like JSP.html anything. Now it's our time to configure the appropriate web application, right? If you remember servlets, guys. So whenever I need to take some data to my servlet, I need to configure that servlet in the web.xml. So basically anything, the URL changes. Let's say if there is a change in URL, something like this. For this, I need to configure something in my web.xml, right? So here also the same way. Let's go and configure our web.xml. But instead of creating different servlets, let's say at the beginning of the class, okay, we saw I forgot the name, Bindu, I guess. She shared her screen and we saw like 2 different servlets, one for login, one for registration, right? We don't have to do that here. Why? That is advantage of the Spring. Let's see how we can achieve that. Right. I will configure. I have been speaking about this a lot. Okay. Dispatcher servlet. So I'm going to configure a dispatcher servlet here, and I'll speak about dispatcher servlet. What is a dispatcher servlet? What is the advantage of using this dispatcher servlet? Right. Now, same old way. It's also servlet. I told dispatcher is also a servlet. Same old way. There's a servlet again. I need to define a name. So my servlet name, right? Servlet name. So you can define dispatcher, but you remember, guys, we have to provide the full class path. I mean, like the package name, including the package name. So dispatcher resides in arg.springframework.web.servlet.dispatcher servlet. Right, I'll write it. arg.springframework.web.servlet.dispatcher, dis, okay, what is the spelling? dispatcher and capital S Servlet, dispatcher servlet. That's good. Now I need to tell, oh, that's not the name. That's not the name. My bad, guys. That is a servlet. What is a servlet class? That is a servlet class. My bad. So let's name it class. Right. Class. So just like we created in okay, CLASS, that's correct, right? The Servlet servlet class should be good. Should be good. Now what is my servlet name? Right. Let's say I'm providing the servlet name as truck management. I'll talk about this, okay, in some time. Truck management. MANAGEMENT management. That's good. Now once this is done, I need to provide a mapping for this servlet. That is servlet mapping. These are the same tags we are using from the servlet. I'm not using anything new here. Okay. So if you remember properly, I need to provide the name and then mapping, right? The mapping in the sense URL pattern, what kind of URLs it has to accept, right? First, what is my servlet name? Whatever the name we used earlier here. But have I created the servlet? No, I haven't created any servlet. We will create that. Truck management. Okay, I'll just simply copy paste it. Right. And what is my URL pattern? Here, unlike servlets, I'm not going to provide a single pattern. Say, for example, for login /login, for registration /registration. No, any request which is coming to our web application has to come through this dispatcher servlet. So I'll provide a generic mapping that is just a forward slash or */*. But that means anything, just accept it. Okay. URL pattern. So I'm just specifying slash, and that's all. So which means now anything comes after this, anything, I don't mind after this login, register, or truck details, or search, doesn't matter for my dispatcher. It will accept everything. Okay, it will accept everything. Now everything is fine, but I named my servlet as truck management. Did I create a servlet? Did I create a servlet here? Here, nothing. Now let's see how to create a servlet here, the truck management. Any questions on that, guys, so far, whatever we discussed? Right, if you don't have any questions, we can move forward creating the servlet. So under webinf, I'm going to create a beans file, and that will act as my servlet. Let's see how it will do. Go to create file, name it the same name, whatever you guys have provided. Ah, crap, it's not coming down. So whatever the name you provided here. So I provided truck management, truck management, MANAGEMENT. Right. Hope that my spelling is not wrong. And then prefix it with hyphen servlet. So which means we are specifying IOC container or the Tomcat, not container. Container will come later. So I'm telling my Tomcat, this is the truck management servlet, which you need to consider while you are parsing that web.xml, while you are playing with web.xml, right? Servlet, and it's an XML file. Okay. Remember, guys, in Spring you can go completely annotated based web application. That is also feasible. You can completely go XML based configuration. That is also feasible. Or you can go both. See, some you may do using XML, some by using the annotations. We will see how that is done. Okay, now I created that. Guys, if you have that beans file which I shared earlier, you can use that, or I will provide you the beans configuration. Okay. Remember this, we discussed about this in the earlier class as well. Why I need to use this schema location, why I need to use this XSI, why I need to use XMLNS. So everything we discussed. So I just provided that. Please copy paste that. And there should be an ending tag, obviously beans. Now let's see, what do I need here? Okay, first thing, I need to tell my container. Okay, now I'm speaking about the IOC container. Okay, whether I am going full annotation, or at least am I using annotations, or completely based on web.xml or the XML files. So as I told, we can do both. So now I'm telling I will go with some part XML and some part annotated, just for our understanding how it can be done. Okay, now I'll tell my container, so I am going annotations. And remember, I'll speak about MVC pattern because it is also a design pattern we will be applying here. I'll speak about that. MVC, okay, from where my MVC comes from. If you see this, it's a namespace which I'm using. Okay, and whatever the tag I use here, it will be present in this schema, in this namespace. Right, what is my name tag? I need to specify whether it is annotation driven or not. That's all. Annotation driven. It's a self-closing tag. If you want, you can close it in one more tag. It doesn't matter, like that. But it's a self-closing tag. I can do that. That means I'm telling my IOC I'm using annotations in my application development. Okay, so it will be aware that whenever it encounters some annotation, it has to do some specific task with the annotation. We will see what is that. Now, once that is done, so we will be using annotations a lot in this tutorial. We need to understand some of the basic annotations. I'll tell you when we get there. It will be easy for me and for you also to understand why we are using that particular annotation. Okay, what is the need for that? Right now, by using annotations in our project, I may create some of the beans. I may tell IOC to create some of the beans. So for that, for my IOC to create some beans, it should be aware where it has to start scanning the components. That means it needs to find appropriate locations of the my bean files. That means classes. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm telling my IOC to scan the components. That means it has to start somewhere, right? To looking up to create the beans. So it doesn't know where my classes are present. So it has to understand where it is. So that's why I'm going to create this I'm going to tell my IOC in this way. I'm passing an instruction to IOC by saying, okay, my components will be present in com dot. Let's say I'm naming it after com dot truck. That's my package, the main package, right? Let's do. No, it is a context. I remember, guys, IOC is a context, right? Application context. So it can be anything. Like it can be class path, it can be file system, it can be web application. Now, since we are building web application, web application, it is web application context, right? Now let's see, context colon. I need to tell where it has to start looking for. That means where the components will be present. That means I need to provide a component scan, right? What is my base package? Just now I told com dot test. Sorry, truck. Or if you don't want to go with truck, you can go with anything. Just specify star. So whatever starts with com, it will scan everything, and it will create a bean for you guys. Sorry. So it's a self-closing. If you want, you can do that. Else, you can close in the new tag. So far, any questions on this? We haven't discussed. We haven't seen the flow yet, but so far, any questions on this? Okay.
No, Harish.
Okay. Now it's our time to specify. Okay. Once everything is fine, now I'm able to create the beans. Okay. What next? I'm able to create the beans. What next? So I need to handle requests, right? Let's go to. Let's create a package. Okay. I will name it after com dot. Let's say truck dot. I need a. Okay, I'll tell you just for now. Remember, I'm using a controller. I'll tell what is the exact need of controller. Okay. Now let me create a class. So I'm naming it after truck fleet. Truck fleet controller. Okay. Fine. Now what it will do? Why I have to create a controller? Okay. This is the class which will be handling your requests. Okay. Let's discuss with an example. To make this as a controller, I need to provide an annotation that is @ controller. It's come up. Sorry guys, it's taking time. Not responding again. With my this. Okay, this is a non-issue. It's okay. Okay, there is a class. Basically, it provides the arg.springframework.stereotype. You can use this import statement. Okay, the controller will be present in that. Right. Now, if I specify controller, IOC will get to know I have to forward the request to this class, just like servlets, how it knows. Instead of in servlets, it's not the IOC, but instead it is the container, servlet container. It's a Catliana. Okay, now that is good. Now I used login. If you see this index, I used login. That is my URL pattern. So which will be like this. So now everything is fine. Now I need to specify that login. So how do I specify? There is some annotation called as request mapping to map the incoming requests to appropriate methods in your controller. So let's use that. Request mapping. Okay. Now what am I mapping? Just need to specify value. If you don't want to specify any value, it's okay. By default, it will take it. Okay, just like that. Login, or this is also accepted, or you can specify. Okay, we will see the difference later, but just for understanding, let's continue this way. Right now, what is a method which has to handle this login requests, right? Now I will specify a method public string login. I have to go with the model and view, but I'm not going there. We will see why I'm not going there, but I'm just specifying login. Okay, now it is expecting a string as a return statement. So let's give this login. That's all. I'm returning a string, guys. See, I'm not returning a servlet. I'm not returning a JSP page. I'm returning a string. Right. Now everything is fine. I'm returning a string. Everything is fine. But where is my logic handling? So once I return a login, how my IOC will know what I have to do with that, or how my servlet container knows after login what I have to do. Right. That is where we have view resolvers. Okay. What is view resolver? We are using JSPs. JSP is a view. Is basically a view technology. Okay. I'll configure the view in view resolver, and then we speak about MVC. That will be much clear for you guys if I configure and if you run some of the, let's say, if just a flow. Okay. So it's a I will be configuring internal view resolver. There are multiple resolvers. So first, to understand what is a view resolver, before going to understanding the view resolver, what are views? What kind of technologies are called as views? Okay, anything, it can be any technology, okay, which will allow you to view the content in the web application. Let's say JSP is a view technology, we call it as JSPs. Okay, and then there is a time leaf, it's also a view technology. Then there is something called free marker templates. I'm not sure whether you guys heard about FTL or not. It ends with .ftl. That is also a view technology, right? JSP is a technology, right? So like this and many more. But for our understanding, we will be using only JSPs. That's Java server pages, right? For now, I'm configuring a internal view resolver which is capable of resolving to .jsp views. Okay, it is a subclass. We'll speak about that. We'll speak about that. This is just configuration, guys. Understand? Okay, that is a bean. Now I need to tell my IOC, okay, what exactly it is. It's a class, right? Where does it present? Now that's a question. So anything related to the web, it will be present in r.springframework.web. Okay, r.spring framework. Hope my spellings are not wrong. .web .servlet. So I'm configuring a servlet, right? It's a view resolver servlet. It's a view dot internal view resolver. Internal it's not internal view resolver. It's a okay, internal resource view resolver. That's correct. RESOLVR. Hope my spellings, I didn't screw up the spellings. That's correct. Okay, now it will take, okay, it has two parameters. In fact, there is some exceptions, but we'll configure only two. That is prefix and suffix. So what is prefix and suffix? We are returning something here, right? We are returning something here, this login. So I need to tell, I need to find a way to tell my servlet container what it has to show. So before returning to my servlet container, okay, my internal view resolver comes into picture, and it will do something. What exactly it will do? What exactly it will do? Right, it will do property name. What is my name? I told you, if you remember our IOC discussion in the previous class, whatever the properties, those are the variables present in that class. So here there is a variable present in the class by name prefix. What is the spelling? Prefix. I hope it's not wrong. Okay. What is a value? This is a way you pass the value, right? By using the setters and getters. So what is a value? I'm specifying like just append with slash. That's all. And if you want, you can close it directly, or you can close in the new tag, and it accepts one more property, that is suffix. SSSUFFIX, that is correct. The value is, I am specifying the view technology here. That means .jsp. It has to end with .jsp. So now, at the end, after returning everything, before going to the my Servlet container, so it will be like something like this. That means I'm telling my Servlet container, please display login.jsp. Okay, which will be handled by our internal view resolver. Right now, just indenting properly for our understanding. Let's see if this will work. But I have to create a login page, right? New JSP. Okay. Login, whatever the name you are giving, login.jsp, it has to be same. It has to match the same, including the camel case. I mean, like, it's a case sensitive. If you are using 2 words for a JSP page, let's say truck management. Truck is 1 word, management is 2nd word. It has to be camel case. If you are using a small, everything in small, it has to be small, which means it's a case sensitive. You have to follow the same name what you provide in the class. Okay, I'm using login.jsp. I'm creating in the web INF again. It has to be in the web content. Okay, let's see. Login page. I'll just print hello Harish. Okay. Right. But how do I know whether it is the control is coming to my controller or not? The flow is coming through my controller or not? Let's see. I'm just going to print my name here. Okay. Or just the control is in login, something like that. Control is in login method. We are not using any loggers here, guys. Okay. If time permits, I'll show you how to do that. Else, I'll show you in the next class. Okay. Now everything is fine. I configured everything. Let's see whether it works or not. Guess I don't have to. Okay. Okay, that's bad. So which means it didn't load. Let me go and check my console. Yeah, it didn't load. I didn't. Okay, there is an option. You can set it auto build, which means it'll be whenever there is a change in the code, your Catalina will start building again. I didn't do that. So I need to stop and run again. Run as on server. Let's see. Okay, that's cool. Cool. Now if you see, the control is in login. It came to my controller and I'm able to go to login page, right? And I'm able to see the change in my URL, which means my redirection worked, which I specified here in index.jsp. Okay. And my controller worked, which means I'm able to get it. And my dispatcher servlet also worked, right? How all these pieces are working together, right? I will explain you after a break. We'll break out for like 10 to 15 minutes based on your choice. Okay, anyway, I'm not going anywhere. I'll just go quickly grab some water and we'll connect in 15 minutes. And we'll see after the break how all these pieces working together, how it works, how the flow works in the Spring. Okay, this is very important, guys. You have to understand this, how it works. Sure, we'll connect back in like 15 minutes. I'm not asking any questions. We can discuss about any question and answers after 15 minutes after our break. Sorry, need some water. My mouth is too dry. Okay. Okay, my bad, guys. Sorry. Do you guys want me to start from beginning again?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. Okay, from the beginning again. Now, so after all the configuration is done, let's see how a dispatcher servlet works. Let's see how I'm able to process the request and get the view, the login view. First, I have specified in the web.xml a dispatcher servlet, and my name is truck management -servlet, right? So I'm providing the capability to handle any request because I specified my URL pattern as /. That means it has a capacity to handle any kind of request, right? Now my request is /login. So my request will come here and my dispatcher has a capacity to handle. Now what it has to do. So I specified truck management.xml, right? Truck management -solid.xml. Now that is responsible for creating the IOC. That means as we are speaking about a web application, so it will be web application context, right? So that will be my IOC. Now in beans the truck management.xml, I specified some other beans as well. I created an internal view resolver, so that is also a bean, so which means my IOC might have created that bean and kept it ready with it. Also, I specified @controller in my com.truck.controller package. So which means I'm telling my IOC whenever it encounters some kind of annotations, it has to do something. So what my @controller will do? @controller has two things. One, it will create a bean. Second, it has a capacity to map the requests based on the URL. Okay, in our case, so I created @controller and I specified one login. Now it has a capacity to handle mappings, so it will come to controller. Okay, now it will search for the login wherever it is, so it will execute whatever you configure there. As of now, we specified system.out.println. That's all. I do not have any of the business logic. I didn't specify any model. All I did is just printed, and I'm returning a model, a view name. My view name I'm returning here. If you see this, right? I'm returning a view name. My view name is login. Login, right? After that, it will come back to the handler mapper. Now, what it will do? What it will do? Basically, once it view is done, everything is fine, the mapping, everything is done. Now what exactly it will do? It will map the appropriate things, the view resolvers and everything, .jsps and everything, and it will go back to my dispatcher. From the dispatcher, it will come to view resolver, and I specified that as login.jsp, right? My login.jsp, and then it will go back to my view. What is a view? The view I specified in the web content folder. It's a login.jsp, and now once I provide that .jsp file, my Tomcat container, if you specify that as a Catliana, basically it's a servlet container, right? So it has a capacity to convert .jsp files into views and give in the browser. Okay, this is one flow. I haven't specified anything of this here, the model view, anything. Okay, we'll speak about that model view. Any questions on that, guys? So which means I can
how we can
yes,
is
please.
it truck management -servlet? We can name anything, right?
You can name anything, it doesn't matter, but you have to configure that in the web.xml properly.
Okay.
I'll show you that configuration. Where is my web? Where is my web? You need to specify that. There is a name here. Okay.
But we are not using that -servlet here in the
Okay,
name.
but that is my servlet name. Okay, that is a naming convention which you have to follow.
Okay.
So that is how you specify -servlet. That is how you are specifying a servlet. That is a dispatch servlet for you. Sometimes you may see you don't want all your servlets. Okay, let me rephrase the sentence. Sometimes you may, if you go to a vast application where you are building, okay, some hundreds of thousands of classes, at that point of time you may not be in a position to provide everything in a config file. So at that point of time you may have to use bean files, right? At that point of time,
Yes.
I don't want all my bean files to be dispatcher servlets. I want only one dispatcher servlet, and I can have multiple bean files. So my bean file name will be something, whatever apart from this servlet dot servlet hyphen servlet. So there is a way, there is a syntax which you have to follow to make this as a dispatcher servlet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now I didn't speak about MVC, okay, because there is some logic left over, right? I did not speak about what didn't I speak about? Where is my dispatcher servlet? Okay, I did not speak about this component scan, but anyway, uh, Shahan explained us how it works. That is exactly the same way it works. Now my IOC, what I'm telling to my IOC here. So all you have to do is search for annotations which is present in com dot whatever comes after this. That is my package name. That is where you have to start searching for beans. That is how you're gonna create beans, right? Now it will come here, it will search. As of now, we have only one class. I didn't create any classes. So now it scanned, it found one class. So it will try to go inside that class. Did I specify anything here? Yes, I did. Controller. So I am specifying my IOC, create a bean for that. Okay. And also I'm giving the capability of handling the requests. That means like this request mapping, some whatever the request I'm getting here, I'm giving the capability here up. Okay. So that's how it is able to handle the requests. Any questions on that, guys? So you guys understood the flow, right? Okay. There is
Yes.
a yep, go ahead.
No, I said, yeah, we understood.
Cool. Okay. We are speaking everything fine. What is this? Right? What you are speaking about this dispatcher servlet as a it is a front facing controller, which means it will handle all the requests, and you are telling it is it has a capacity to redirect the request to appropriate controller, appropriate method. What kind of technique is this? What is this? Okay, we can tell it as a design pattern again. Okay, it is called as, in other words, I can tell dispatcher servlet is a front controller. Pardon me, guys. Excuse me. Okay, as a front controller, because it is handling all the requests for the first time. Okay, and then it has capacity to redistribute the request to appropriate places based on our configuration, right? This is also a design pattern. Okay, that is good. Now let's speak about MVC. How many of you guys are familiar with MVC? It is also a design pattern. I'll speak about that, but I just wanted to know how many of you are familiar with MVC. What is MVC? Please define MVC. Apart from Shahan, because he is the only one who is speaking from long time. Please, guys. Anybody who worked in Spring or who studied Spring just for fun?
Yes, basically MVC, one of the design pattern we have used, which is stands for model, view, and controller.
Perfect.
Model means which is used to store the data. You can say view means which is used to display the data, and
Okay.
controller it acts as a main part in MVC, which is act as a mediator between model and view. Means whatever the request we have to send, it will be take the request, process the request, and given the response back to the controller. Means given the response back to the dispatcher subnet. So controller we can say it is act as a main part in MVC.
Okay.
And MVC basically we have used. It is one of the most frequently used design pattern to create largely and scalable based web application.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
apart from
Glad
that,
to
if you
have
said
everything.
MVC uses many of the component as you have seen in the like diagram by
Mhm.
using means it is support dispatcher sublet, MVC content dispatcher sublet, controller, view resolver, model, views, and everything which is used to different types of container it support. Basically, all those are helping to create the web application only. So we
Perfect.
have used MVC design pattern to reduces the burden of the programmer because it provides many of the predefined classes like handler mapping, and in that view result we have to convert that logical view into physical view by using prefix and suffix, all kind of things. So MVC helps a lot to reduces the burden of the programmer and make our web application more scalable, and its maintenance also easy, you can say.
Perfect. Everything is perfect. But we
Thank you.
didn't cover one part. What is a need? Why do I have to do MVC? Right? Everything, whatever you told, it has all the advantages. I'll repeat it again. Okay. But first, let's start from what is the need for MVC? What kind of, okay, what kind of problem are we facing right now? If you see servlets, okay, let me open a diagram here. Okay, let me take a, I'm taking already. Okay, what kind of problem are we solving here? First, what is the problem? Let's define the problem. Let's discuss the problem. Right. If you observe servlets properly in JSP, let's say if it is your JSP page, let's say it is JSP page, you have capacity to write Java code here by using the scripted tag, there is assignment operator, like that. Okay, right. I am able to write everything. If that is the case, why do I need a view? It's just it makes a Java again, right? I can write everything whatever I want. Even I can establish a connection, DB connection here, and I can do the logic here. Instead of sending it to the controller, instead of sending it to the backend, I can display everything in the single page. Everything in the single page. Okay, imagine guys, if you are having such kind of pages, let's say if you are having something around over 100 plus pages, right? Do you think it is very easy to maintain? No, it is not. It'll be really difficult. You don't know where you are creating a new object, where you are getting the object from, in which servlet, in which JSP. You don't know, because there is no complete segregation from business logic to the view logic. So everything is embedded together. Even you can include the HTML tags in the JSP file. Just next to this scripted tags, you can write the HTML tags like body, and you can do whatever you want in this here, right? That is one of the major problem, maintenance. Okay, clear with the problem, guys? Any questions on that? I guess some of the experienced guys might have seen this kind of applications. I'm not sure. I have seen it. Have you guys seen it?
Yes, it is.
Clear. So that is one of the problem. So this kind of problem you may face if you work in legacy applications. Okay, but how can we solve it? What is the solution for this? Let's see. Let's delete this, clear our drawings. If we have a way to completely segregate, okay, the view, whatever the view logic we are writing, let's say this is view logic, okay, and from the backend implementation, doesn't matter what it's going to do, right? There is something called whatever I want to do. I don't know about the business logic. My view doesn't need to know about the business logic. Now, how can I map between these two? For that, I need a controller. See, this is view, this is some business logic, right? I need a controller, so I'll get a request from this view, and I'll do some business logic, and I'll respond. Now, here comes the actual problem again. Everything is fine so far, but how can I display the content, right? I need the model object, that is pure Java objects, which we discussed earlier. POJOs is an example for model, okay? Not only those, but it's an example for model. If I can send the details in a class, in an object format, my view is capable of displaying everything. Now, if you see this pattern properly, am I in a position to control my business logic? Am I in a position to control my view logic? Which means I don't have to mix these two together, right? Am I in a position to control everything, guys? Are we in a position to do this if we follow this pattern?
Yes.
So problem solved. So that's why MVC is so famous. So we are dividing the or segregating the logically. So what is that? Based on the view, we'll write our views based on the view logic, whatever, and it doesn't have to be connected with the business logic. It is completely independent. And the business logic, based on the request we are getting, we are writing the business logic, and we are not writing the business logic in the view page, in the page, right? And we need a controller to establish a connection between these two. So that's how the MVC works. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer your questions right now. If you ever work with any web application which are developed, I'm not sure, maybe after 2010, you will be having this MVC. I'm not sure about prior applications. They might have followed, or they might not have. They might have done everything in single page, writing the code and mixing the view logic, everything. So it's important for you guys to understand this concept. Okay, if everything is clear, we can proceed further in our development. So clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's see. Now I'm able to say return the view. Now it's time to build the view. Right, my view has to accept 2 parameters again. So as there is a requirement for login, I'm doing the same login page which we created in the servlets. Okay, so it will accept input type equal to, okay, let me name it text value. I don't want the value. ID, I'll put an ID. Let's name it username. If you can't, you can name this one as well, username. Yes, I'm telling you again, I'm not an expert in the front end. If I do some mistake, please pardon me. Okay, let's say username, PASSWORD password, input type equal to password equal to, okay, my bad, PASSWORD password name equal to PASSWORD password. Right, everything is fine, but I need to declare a form. So I'm going with the regular form right now. I'll show the actual form, how we deal with the model view controller. Okay, the concept of MVC. For now, for our understanding, we'll do a regular form now. Please let me know, guys, if you're not able to follow along with me. I will start typing slowly, else we can continue at the same pace. Action equal to, let's say I want to validate. Right, now I declared action. So again, if I click it, my URL will change, right? My URL will change and it will go to like this, something like validate. Did I specify the method here by any chance? I did not specify. Then it will go as a get parameters. That means in the URL, my parameters will be visible, which I don't want to happen. So let me specify method equal to post. Okay, now I'm posting. Everything is fine. Now my dispatcher servlet will handle. but is my controller in a position to handle this? No, not yet. So let's see. One more request mapping. One more request mapping, right? So let's specify value equal to. So this is also valid, guys. So value is optional. So it's up to you. Validate. Is it what I specified here? Validate truck fleet container. Validate. Okay. Now, if I don't specify anything here, earlier I didn't specify anything. This will be considered as a GET request. But how can I specify it to be a POST request? Right? I need to specify because I need to accept in the login page, in the login.jsp, I am specifying it as a POST, which means my parameters, whatever I'm passing, it should not be part of URL, right? So I need to tell my controller to accept this validate as a POST request. So how can I do that? There is a way. Simply, we specified method there. We have to specify method here. Method equal to, right? What kind of method I'm accepting? So it will be request method dot post, right? So obviously I need a method to handle that. So let's name it validate. Okay, and obviously I need to return a view string. That's my view name, which I need to return. Right now, there is a way. If you don't want to return a view, you can return model and view both together. We will see that also, right? But for now, let's say I'm returning a view, and what are the parameters which I'm expecting? I can directly get HTTP Servlet request the same way what we did in the Spring in the Servlets, and I can get the request at get parameters, or I can take the annotation way of doing that, right? My Spring is in a position to give me that, right? Let's see how to get that. No, because my parameters, the username and password, which I'm sending as a post, it is part of my request, right? I'm directly telling my Spring to give me as a request parameter. So we have the annotation, use this, and all I need to do is specify the name here. Let's say if I want to get the username, I need to give exact the same name which I gave here. So let's specify both in the same proper way. The name matters, not ID though. The name matters. So username, right? I got the username. Do I need to store in some variable? Yes, of course, because I want to validate it somehow. String. So let's name it username, right? Now, what else I'm getting? I can get password as well. It's a request parameter. It's a request parameter. PASSWORD password, right? It's cool. I'm storing that in one more string variable. And I also expect, because it is it's a web application, right? I may have to validate the session. I may have, whenever person is logging out, I may have to invalidate that, right? So session is something which we don't create. It will be created by the browser. It will be handled by the browser. All we need to do is we need to use the session properly. That's all. So for that purpose, I'll be getting HTTP session, because I should be able to support multiple multiple logins. So that's why I'm going for the session. HTTP session. So there is a class, sorry, HTTP session, where is session? SSION, it's interface. HTTP session, let's name it session, right? Okay, now everything is fine. I need to import this request method, org.spring framework.request method. It's capital. How can I miss that? Capital, my bad, guys. Okay, now let's go into the model view controller mode. Okay, I need, while returning along with my view, I need to send some model. Okay, I haven't decided my model yet, but I'm assuming I need, because after logging in, I'm sending my user to the home page, right? let's decide that homepage later, but as of now I need to send my model along with my view. So for that I need a model, model. So find java dot model org dot spring framework.ui. That's correct, model. Let's name it model. So let me bring that everything one by one. Guys, if you can see my screen, please let me know. I'll try to pull these things a little bit here and there. Okay, now it is in red color. It is indicating, it isn't giving an error to me because I need to return something. Let's say for now I'm return null. I'm not returning any page, or maybe anyway I decided my application, right? I mean, like I decided my view name, right? So let's say home. That's my home, right? This is good. Now how can I validate? How can I validate? And either you can validate by hard coded. I don't want to do that right now. Let's say if I want to connect to a database, here comes the actual solution for what we discussed earlier. Okay, do I have some predefined classes available in Spring to do the JDBC handling, the JDBC ODBC connectivity? If so, how can I handle, right? So what are the classes? Yes, there are many ways. Let's say for now, for this session alone, let's use a simple JDBC template. That's the class name which we'll be using. All we have to do is we need to establish appropriate connection, and we need to pass these parameters to the JDBC template, and it is in a position to handle everything, the creating the executing the statements, and we'll talk about that. But let's see how I will do that, right? So far whatever we discussed, any questions on that, guys? So no questions. Moving forward, previously we hard coded the username, password, my DB string, right? Like the JDBC colon MySQL slash localhost colon 8 I think 9093 slash my DB name, right? I don't want to do that right now. Let's see how can we do that. There is other way. Right now for this purpose I'll be using a properties file. If you go to the real time, they may use properties. I'm not sure what kind of applications you are using. If you are completely Spring, they will be doing the connection pooling from the Tomcat. If you are based on containers, let's say if it is a microservice or something, they'll be sending these details as secrets. Okay, we'll discuss about that as we progress in the session. But for now, let's assume we are reading the details from a properties, and properties is not something out of nowhere. It is part of Java 1.1. It's also a class, java.util.properties. It's a key value pair, and let's see how it works. Right, I'll be creating a properties in my src folder. That's in other words in my class path. Okay, class path is nothing but where your classes reside. That's all. Right, what is my, I can name it whatever I want. For now, since I'm connecting to MySQL, let's name it mysql.properties. Okay. Do I have properties file? No. A file. Okay. Next. MySQL.properties. MySQL.properties. Okay. What do I need to provide here? It's taking some time. Right, what do I need to provide here? If you remember our servlet session, so I provided the driver name, that is com.mysql.jdbc driver, because I am using MySQL. If you are using Oracle, there will be a different driver name. Basically, it's a class name. So if I'm not wrong, it's ODBC driver, ODBC JDBC driver, right? And then after I provided my connection string, basically where my MySQL resides, and a DB user, a name, password to connect. Right, now let's see. So the key is up to you. You can use any key, and you have to use the same key while retrieving the data. So for this session, I am assuming I'll be using is for my understanding. Whenever somebody reads, it's for user readability. Whenever somebody reads my code, he should be in a position to understand properly what I wrote. So I'm telling db dot, let's say, driver, right? That means, okay, there is a spelling mistake. driver, that's correct. driver, that's correct. com dot mysql dot jdbc dot driver, that's my class name, right? That's a driver name. And then I'm specifying db.url. It's just again readability purpose only, guys. It is up to you. Whatever the name, you can use it. It doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you can use on the left side doesn't matter. All you have to do is, while retrieving, you need to retrieve with the same name. That's all that matters. Now the connection string, JDBC. I'm connecting with JDBC connectivity. And then what is my database? So MySQL, MySQL. And then where it actually resides, where did I deploy my database? It can be remote also. All you have to do is provide this 10.249.147. whatever the IP address where it is deployed. Else, if it is in local, just local host colon 3036, and at the end I need to provide my DB name. Let's say just naming it truck. I don't want to do if you want truck management, I named it truck. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you again. And connecting to my user, root db.password, password, whatever the password. Basically it'll be root for you guys. I changed recently again my password. Okay, now everything is fine. What I have to do with this connection? How can I establish connection? Now I declared everything, right? Now let's see, how can I tell my IOC to read everything from my beans and establish a connection with DB, right? What kind of classes we need for establishing a connection? How many of you guys know about this data source, connection pooling and everything? I'm assuming at least some of the guys might be knowing that the connection pooling, the data source and everything, the concept of data source, the concept of connection pooling. Whatever we did in Servlet, that's very basic way of connecting to MySQL or any database, not only MySQL. That's a very basic way. There are advanced ways, the better ways, in fact. How many of you know about that? So nobody? I should have discussed earlier then. It's okay. We will see later. For now, I'm telling I'm using a data source. Okay, I'm using the data source class in Spring, which will handle everything for me. All I have to do is just provide the appropriate names. I mean, like appropriate details for the data source class. I'll explain in the next class what exactly is data source. I mean, like whenever we finish this application, I will see. We will go back to the different ways of doing in Servlet, the basic Java. I assume that everybody might have aware. So I thought it's my bad. Sorry guys, I'll explain it later. But for now, this purpose, I'll be using a data source class which will accept my username, password, the connection string, and the type of the connection. I mean the driver of the connection. Right. I need to create a bean for that class. What is a class? What is a class? So all you have to do is class equal to, right, anything related to JDBC. Okay, anything related to JDBC, we will be having in the org.springframework.jdbc dot whatever you want. That is a package name. That is a jar file which we'll be using, JDBC. So it's org.springframework.jdbc.code. Sorry, data source, right? It's a data source data source dot driver manager, driver manager, manager. It's all camel case, guys. They followed the appropriate naming convention, so we need to follow that. Data source, right? What will it accept? Okay, I forgot to give the ID for my container purpose. Doesn't matter. If you don't give the proper ID, it will take the class name with a small case. Data source, right? Okay, now what will accept? It will accept, I told you, we have to provide the Jdbc URL, we have to provide the driver name, we have to provide the connection parameters like username and password, right? How we read that? How we read them? We did not read. You can hard code, but we already took it from the properties. Now let's see. It has a property, which means, let's see, that's a driver name. Driver class name. It is a parameter. If you go to this source code of driver manager data source, you will find private string driver class name. That is a parameter name. Okay, and value equal to, I didn't specify. I can specify anything com dot jdbc dot, but I don't want to do that here, hard code here, right? I have to read it from properties. Yes, if you do normal Java way, you need to create a class, and then in the class you need to read the properties by using the properties. Properties equal to new properties, and then set everything. Or maybe there is a way to read properties, but here the Spring will provide us a beautiful way of doing that. We don't have to do anything. Spring will do that for us, right? Let's see. All I have to do is I need to provide the placeholder properly. And where is my property file located? It's in the context of this application, right? Context. Let's see, property placeholder. Where is my property? Yes, there is my property placeholder, right? It will accept the location, right? If I while creating MySQL.properties, I specified that it is a location called as class path, because that's where our classes exist, right? So it's class path. Let's see if it comes up. Class path and MySQL, whatever the file name. I'm assuming everybody followed the same file name, so I am going with MySQL.properties. If else, you are free to use whatever the file name you specified there. Otherwise, our IOC will at the time of loading, our IOC will throw an exception. It's not able to find the property specified. There is an exception. Properties, right? Now I told earlier it's a key value pair, right? So in my IOC there is a we read everything in it will be placed in the properties, right? Now from my IOC, how will I read it? I know the key, but how will I read it? That's where the beauty of SPEL will come into picture. There is a Spring expression language. If we remember properly, we talked about this in the when I'm creating the IOC and everything. Let's see that in action right now. How we can specify that. All you have to do is the dollar symbol, and that's all. Provide the key. My key is db dot. Okay, let's go back to my. I forgot the name. Okay, db dot driver name. Yeah, db dot driver name, db dot URL, db dot user. So you need to provide that driver name. Driver, that's all. And it's a self-closing tag. I don't want to go one more. Right, now I need to provide everything here. Property name equal to URL, and value equal to the same, reading from the properties, right? It is db dot URL, right? And it's a self-closing tag. Property equal to name equal to user name. I didn't go with the camel case, so did I went with the camel case? That's just user. There is no username, right? Value equal to $db dot user. Perfect, right? Property equal to PASSWORD, spelling is correct, and value equal to dollar $db dot password. Right, this is good. I just created a data source, that's all. I didn't do anything explicitly. Now how can I establish a connection? Right, for that we have a simple JDBC template class which is by default provided by Spring. Right, we don't have to do the code of establishing the connection, that driver.manager.get connection and pass the connection parameters and everything. That will be done by Spring for us. We don't have to do that. Right, bean, if you want you can specify ID, but I'll be going with the ID because I'll be auto wiring them in my DAO layer. So I need the name of the bean. So it is JDBC template. You can specify anything, whatever you want. It's up to you. But you have to use the same name whenever you are using this JDBC template. Right, I told you it's already present in JDBC. All the JDBC related things. Org dot spring frame work dot. Okay, I'll copy paste from here to here. Don't have patience to type. So lazy. Okay, JDBC dot. Now it is part of core. It's not part of data source. It is part of core. Core dot JDBC. Is it spelling correct? Template. Oops. Camel case TEMPLAT template. Right. Now everything is fine, but it accepts data source as part of constructor argument. That is a dependency. There is a dependency on data source for JDBC template. So this is where our DI comes into picture. Constructor based. Right. Constructor argument. You can specify just only one. There is one. It has only one constructor argument. So just reference it where it is. That's a data source here. That's all. Now we have a JDBC connection established.
Hey, Reese, could you please check the JDBC template spelling? There's mismatch.
There is a spelling in the mismatch.
Yes, JDBC template.
This one? Did I JDBC TEMPLAT or this one? I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Let's see.
Last one, JBC instead of.
Oh crap. Sorry, my bad. Thanks for pointing it out. Otherwise, anyway, our IOC will throw an exception. Everything is good, but do I have a database with me right now? Of
There
course,
is
I have
some
because I
mistake
have it
is
already,
happen.
but we don't have it, right? For the person who doesn't have it, let's create it. Just it'll not take more time. Let's see how we can create it. New schema. All you have to do is create schema. I named it truck. You can name truck. That's all. Apply. Play. Finish. It's a really simple schema. I'm not doing anything much. So is there any tables here? There's nothing. So let's create a simple table. Create table. Okay. I will name it after login underscore master. It's up to you. You can name in login. It's login master, the place where I worked. So they named it like underscore master for master tables. So that's why I'm going this way, master. So all I need is, I'm not going to create any kind of ID or anything because I'm not expecting huge data here. I'm expecting only 2 or 3 users. Okay. So it's of type. It's not int. It is varchar. My username is varchar. So accept 25. Let's say primary key not null. I'm not auto incrementing. Now my password. Varchar 25 not primary key. It's not null. I don't care about unique or not. And that's all. Apply. Apply. Finish. Okay, now my table is created. Okay, it's under truck database, right? The schema. I do not have any data. Let's say I'm inserting some data here. Harish. Lovely. I am thinking that you guys are familiar with the workbench, so that's why I'm not explaining anything here how to create. Okay, everything is fine. Now if I execute this, there should be one column. That's Harish and Harish. Now let's quickly configure everything properly. Okay, everything is good. Do I have a logic, the business logic to validate here? Do I have it here? No, I don't have it. So let's see how we can create the business logic, right? For the persons who ever worked, I'm not sure whether what kind of technology, I mean, what kind of coding standards you followed, but I would like to tell the coding standard which we followed earlier. Okay, controller is just for the flow, which means to accept the data and return the view. We are not going to write any kind of logic here. We are not going to write any kind of validation. We are not going to write any kind of business logic converting into DTO objects or changing anything. It's just pure to and flow statements, which means accept and return. That's all. I'm not going to do anything that is not allowed. For that purpose, we have, you can go for a service layer. They will call it a service layer. You can annotate with other service, or you can do whatever you want, but there should be a service layer behind the control layer. That's all. It's up to you how you name it. For now, let's create new package com dot truck dot service. Finish. I'm creating a new class. Okay, in here I'll be doing some validations. At the same time, I'll be doing some business logic as well. Before returning, I may have to do something, right? Maybe if there is an error, I may have to tell login failed, or maybe login succeeded, and then send it to home page, right? Now let's see. That is truck service, truck management service. You can do anything, right? I will specify service. It doesn't matter what you specify, service or component, everything will work for our for this project, for the scope of this project. Okay, for understanding, I'll specify component. Component is nothing but it will just create a bean for me. That's all. I'm not going to specify any other alternative ways. Component is like whatever we created here. It's just like this statement. That's all. There will be a bean. That's all. It won't do anything. Okay, it's okay, it's another way of telling IOC to create a bean in IOC. It's another way of telling container to create a bean for this class. That's all. Whenever my IOC encounters this @component, so it will create a bean for me. If you want, you can specify the name. If you don't specify the name, the default name will be, the name of the bean will be this, small letter and camel case, everything. That is my bean ID if you don't specify anything. Okay, if you want to specify, you can specify here like that, like that. Okay, it's up to you. I'm not doing anything here. I'm just specifying the component. Right, now what it has to do, so I need to handle the validation public, because my controller should be in a position to handle this. Okay, public, what am I returning? I'm returning string. Okay, do I need to return a string, or do I need to validate? We'll just return, I'm not returning anything. Void validate. Right, what do I accept? I accept string, oops, username, let it be camel case, string says password. Okay, do I need to handle modal? Yes, let's see, because I'm taking the model there. Model and model. Do I need to take a session? Yes, because I'll be, if the username and password is successful, I may add the username and password to the session. Sorry, not password, but the username to the session. So for that purpose, I'll be taking HTTP session. Right. Okay, now a quick check. Okay, how many of you guys worked with Spring Java 8 features at least?
Yes, Harish.
So I'm assuming everybody worked with it, or if you have not worked with it, I can tell you what exactly is this optional class. Optional. So can I assume that everybody worked with it, right? Yes, no, guys?
Harish, can you please brief on that?
I'm sorry, what is that? Oh,
On
this
optional,
explanation.
optional. Yeah.
Okay, optional, which is a class introduced in Java 8. Okay, what is the need of that? So prior to that, if you see, null pointer exception is our friend in IT. At least in your lifetime, you may think about null pointer exceptions more than any logic. Okay, so for that we used to do a way of null checks, something like this. Let's say user name is not equal to null. If I don't do this check, if I'm using my username anywhere in my code, okay, without doing it, let's say if I'm doing username dot let's say null, right? So I'm doing some string operation, username dot um, character at 0. Let's say I'm trying to get the username starts with character at 0. So at that point of time, there is a chance that it will throw null pointer exception, right? For that we have to do the null check. So this is a boilerplate code. Some people think it is a boilerplate code. That's why there is a they introduce this optional class, so which accepts nullable, and there is a way to check the optional whether the value present in it or not. Okay, something like dot is present. That's all. It'll return. It'll handle all the null cases and everything there, and it will return me if it is null or not. That's all. It's a very brief explanation. If you want, you can study this in java.util.optional. There is a package and it's present in the documents. You can refer that. There will be a better explanation than this. But for simple, this is why we use it. Okay. If anybody wants to correct me, if anybody wants to add on top of this, please, the stage is open. Please explain in better terms. If not, we can continue. Okay, any questions on that, guys?
No worries.
Cool. Let's see the checks, how we do it right now. So it is returning a Boolean value. Okay, is equal to true. Okay, let's say it's just a true, right? I don't want to do anything. It is acceptable to do like this. Okay. And my password should not be null. I am showing you there is one more way of doing that. I'll show the validation as well, but this is a regular way. Spring provides the validations as well. You don't have to write this boilerplate code. All you have to do is provide appropriate annotation. I'll show that as well. Okay, now optional of nullable. PASS, oops, password. That's all. What it will do, it will take this username in optional of nullable class. Okay, it will do some validations inside whether it is null or not null. Then if I check is present, that means I'm validating if the value is present in the username variable or not. If not, it will return me false. If yes, it will return me true. That's all. So right now, if it is not null, okay, it's not and I have or. If any one thing fails, I have to do something. else I have to do something else. You guys understood the if condition, right?
Yes, sir.
If you want me to break down.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, cool. So to explain again, if somebody who who did not understand, right? So let's say if my username is null, just for example, username is not null. Let's say if username is Harish, okay, let's take this case and let's parse it. How it will work? Password is, let's say, Harish again, right? Now what it will do, the Harish will be present in this, so it is not null, which means there is some value exists in this username, so is present will return true. Now I'm changing it to false, right? False. That means it's not going to enter into this. Or next, I'm expecting the same password has some value, so it is present, it will return me true. I'm negation, that is this is negation, guys. So which means oh crap, which means I'm checking the negation. So right now this statement will result in false because it resulted in true and then I'm negating it, false. Or this statement, the other one, this statement also will result in true and then I'm changing it to negation, which means false. So false or false, at the end I'll have false. Okay, so which means my if condition will not be evaluated, it will go to else condition. Okay, okay, now let's see. So if something went wrong with my username and password, they are passing null values, what I have to do? Let's say string string. You can pass anything in the model, it doesn't matter. I'll show you how to pass anything in the model. Message equal to, okay, I'm not putting anything, just a blank message for now. Here if it fails, that means I need to send some validation to the user saying that something went wrong. So here in our case, user name and PASS password both are mandatory or should not be null. Something like should not be null. If you use appropriate Spring validation, you don't have to do this manual checks and everything. I will show that to you. Okay, but now this is a whole way of doing. We'll see the better way. That's all. Okay, now I need to add this to model. I have a model object already, right? Model dot add. What I'm adding, I'm just adding a single attribute. I don't want to add a collection. You can, if you want, you can add a collection. You can add anything, but always remember, everything is considered as an object in Java, right? Even a collection is an object. Even a map is an object. Everything is an object. So I will always prefer doing this way. There will be a key. This is also again a key value pair. If you want to retrieve this using this key, whatever I am writing here, my key name is message. Okay, I can retrieve this anything, whatever you pass this object. Right now the object is string. String is a class, it's not a data type, the primitive data type, right guys? Right, wrong? No, yes.
Yes, right.
Yes, right.
Perfect, thank you, thank you. So that's why I'm sending it as an object, right? If you want, you can return here itself. Okay, I didn't start the session, I don't want to invalidate. Okay, oh, there is no return, and that's all. I don't have to do anything else. If everything is successful, I need to validate my username and password. For that I need a database connectivity, which I already did that, but I need a data access layer. It's called as DAOs. Yeah, let's see. I will write a simply okay, you can write direct class, or if you want you can go with the package. It's up to you. That's a design pattern. So sometimes what if you work with multiple technologies, multiple MySQL, or if you connect with Oracle or anything, they'll go with the interfaces, and one implementation will have MySQL connectivity, one implementation will have Oracle connectivity, that's up to you. Oh, com dot truck dot, let's say DAO, right? Simple. I'll create interface, it's up to you. Okay, starts with I truck DAO. Simple. You don't have to create it. If you want, you can create it. Okay, now there is a method present in it. It should be public. My method is to validate. Okay, who is this? Very late. Okay, what am I going to return? I will return boolean. It's just yes or no. Validate. Oh, I cannot implement it here. If you want, you can implement if it is a default method. Mine's default method, so I'm not implementing it here. Let's create a class which will implement that. My class name, let's name it truck DAO. Okay, DAO IMPL. I need to implement one of the interface, that is I truck DAO, and by default it will override some of the methods. Okay, now if you remember the query, there are multiple ways. Okay, again here connecting with connecting with the database and retrieving the data, there are multiple ways. Again, I am showing you the very basic way, and we will see the JPA in action in when we go to Spring Boot. So it's for better understanding what we will achieve out of JPA, why we need JPA. Okay, let's see very basic way of doing it. I need a string SQL. What is my query? So I'm doing the same query what we did in the first lesson, first lecture. So select, I'm doing count of, it is, you're not supposed to write this kind of queries, guys. Again, why? SQL injection is very easy with this kind of queries. Okay, please, if you want what is SQL injection, have a look at the Google. There will be a good explanation injecting, how they will inject the values to get access to your website if there is a user login. Okay, without creating any user login. Right, that's out of scope. Let's concentrate on our Spring Boot JDBC template right now. Select count of from. What is my table name? Mine is login master, where if you know the field names, say username equal to question mark. Okay, and password equal to question mark. That's all. Now everything is fine. But do I have a JDBC template object here? How can I connect if I don't? How can I execute my query if I don't have one? Right. Remember, guys, we already did created the JDBC template object in here in our beans file, right? I created this. All I have to do is I need to use this. I need to wire this. Okay, appropriately. You can do.
Higher is, excuse me.
Yep.
Sorry for interrupt. You are actually fully qualified class name. JDBC template class is mistake. JDBC.
Ah, crap again. Thanks, guys. JDBC. My bad. Sorry. Anyway, our Spring might have complained. Okay, thanks for correcting. JDBC. At least now I am writing properly. Correct. Okay, where are we? Yes, I created a JDBC template object here. I mean, like, I gave an instruction for IOC to create it, and it will create with the ID this one. All we have to do is use this ID. Either you can create one more bean of type DAO here, or you can use auto wiring concept, which we previously discussed. So for now, I'll be using auto wiring by using the annotation, and I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, it's a better way of doing it. That's all. But there are some flaws which I told you already. If the same bean will have the same type, there will be issue, but we'll see how to resolve that kind as well, right? One by one. Okay, now simple JDBC template. JDBC template, right? Is it of the same type which I used here? It should be of the same type, right? JDBC template. Oh, this is capital J. Okay, JDBC template. And whatever the ID which used, okay, whatever the ID which I used here, the ID is this one, right? Simple. and that's all. But I need to provide a special annotation here. What is that? That is my @auto_wire. If you remember properly, in the same session, initially we discussed auto_wire by type, by name, right? Using XML based. This is the another way by doing the annotation based. That's all. So now how my IOC understood that it has to wire these beans, how my JDBC template will be injected into truck DAO IMPL. That is because we already configured everything here, right? So bean will be created in IOC, and then it will be injected into this whenever my IOC is trying to load a DAO IMPL, okay, into it, whenever it's trying to create one more object of DAO IMPL into it, right? Now everything is good. Okay, before going forward, any questions on that, guys? Because I think I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. You can interrupt anytime. It's, I know there are some experienced guys who knows everything whatever I'm doing here, and in fact they may know better ways as well. I'm trying to tell it to the in a layman term for the person who never worked on Spring. So if you have any questions so far, whatever we discussed, I'm happy to explain again. Any questions, guys? Water. Okay, so no questions. That's good. Okay. If it's 1:30 for me. Okay. So before going further, what do you think about breaking for like 10 minutes, not more than that today? Or do you guys want to continue? Anything is fine for me. I feel like I'm talking for a long time. That's why.
I think let's complete this DAO implementation. What other guys say?
So yeah, whatever you guys tell.
Yes, please complete.
Okay, cool. After completing, we'll take it. Okay, now I have my query. Okay, let's see how to execute this and how to get the result set. In fact, we don't have to play with the result set here. Okay, that will be taken care by Jdbc template. But oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. We need to handle that, but there is a better way of handling the result set. Sorry, it's my bad. If you use this way, there is other way which will be taken care by the objects. Okay, now if you remember our servlets properly, it is a prepared statement. It's not a statement, which means it is expecting some kind of parameters here, right? It's not a simple select statement. So how can I handle these kind of statements? Right, let's do that. So first, what kind of parameters I need to pass? I don't know. Sometimes I'll get string, sometimes I'll get lang, sometimes I get everything. I'm going with object, right? It's of array, which means I'm passing two kind of parameters here. I mean, like in count, two parameters. Pardon my spellings, guys, again. New object. Okay, you know how to create array, right? So just pass these parameters here. But I did some mistake, guys. I need to get the username and password. Username and password. Okay, so there is an issue with that because it's overriding. Username, comma, string, password. Okay, so pass these two things here. But remember, you have to pass in the same order what the query is expecting. In here, it is expecting username first and then password second. You know, right? It's array based, means first come first serve, which is indexed. It's not FIFO, my bad. It's indexed. So it will be stored in the insertion order. User name, comma, password, password, cool. And that's all. So I got my objects. Now let's figure out how to pass. Simple. If you see JDBC template implementation dot, there are a bunch of methods. All we need to do is use appropriate method, right? What am I doing here? I'm expecting a count, right? It will be always int, right? Let's just do the same thing here. Query for int, right? I'm expecting a query. I'm passing a query, and I'm expecting int result. It's a count, right? If you are expecting object, query for object validated. If you are that depends on what kind of query you write. We will see different kind of queries here. For now, I'm expecting an integer value, right? Query for int, and all I need to do is pass my SQL. Is it enough? No, it is not enough, because it is a prepared statement, right? I need to pass the object parameters as well. Parameters, and that's all. So if you see this, it is written an int. This is my return type, right? So int, let's say n equal to, I can write a simple Boolean expression here. If n equal to 1, right? Return true, else return false. Is that what I'm expecting? Of course. There should be, I specified my username as unique, right? It's a primary key. I cannot expect multiple users for the same username and password. So I'm expecting only one. That's why I'm giving this. Right, let's see everything in action. We merged all the components right now, right? Let's see how it works. Okay, save. I did some changes which I forgot to save. Finish. Okay, save. Oh, I did some mistake, guys, which means I forgot to connect my service with this controller, right? Same way, at the rate auto wire. There are different ways. I'm doing field based injection here, the dependency injection here. So that is, yeah, okay, I don't want that. But anyway, we'll see. Password, there is no submit button. I forgot multiple things here. My bad, guys. We'll see that. Okay, now I need to connect the service, right? I need to call the service. So let's see how I can do that. So far we did whatever we saw. It's a XML based. Now I'm trying to show you the annotation based. Okay, truck service, TRUCK truck service is cool, right? Now let's call this truck service dot validate, right? Validate. I'm passing everything there, right? Everything is good, but am I calling my DAO class in service? Let's go and check. I didn't connect. I wrote all the pieces, but I didn't connect everything. Right? Did I connect here? Nothing. If it is not working, then only I'm returning. Else I'm not doing anything. Let's see. Now, let's go back to DOI-MPL. Did I specify my any annotation so that it will create a object for me? It will create a bean for me? No, I haven't created anything. Simply just tell that component. That's all. If you want, you can provide the name. If you don't want, you don't have to provide the name. It's optional. It's up to you. Right? Where is my service? Okay. Now let's try to create an object for the. Let's try to create an object for that, but reference it to truck DAO interface. Right? Let's say I truck DAO. Right? Let's name it AUTOIRD, AutoWire. Guys, remember, I can create an object for a class and I can always reference it to the interface. It's feasible. It's properly valid in Java. Similarly, that's what happening in the injection here, the dependency injection here. So I told my IOC to create. a bean here by using the component, and at the same time I'm telling IOC to inject this bean into, where is my service here, right? This is valid. Okay, now let's see. Truck do dot, there is only one method, that's a validate login method. Okay, I'm sending username and password, right? So username, something like that. I'm expecting a boolean bool equal to, okay, let's say valid equal to, there is spelling BOOLEAN. Just name it bool. Okay, if you want if else condition, you write that if valid means if valid, what to do? All I have to do is the same way, set anything. If you are returning something, set to model, else just send us a message. Or if there is any proper pojo which you want to accept some details in the view, which you want to display some details in the view, you can do that. As of now, I haven't created any pojos, if you see that properly, but there will be, if you want, I can print a message. Just say message is login verified. Login verified verified. Okay, verified login verified. That's all. Now, model or attribute. Okay, so I need to validate the session, right? Session dot set attribute. Right. Whenever I want to get a username, anytime I can get it from the session. So whoever have worked with it in the UI, they'll know what exactly is session. But I already explained what is a session. So it will be created by the browser when you log in into an application. A session is valid till you log out. Okay, that is called a session. A particular time when you spend on application, browsing the application, that is called session. Okay, at that point of time you can store anything in the session, and you can retrieve based on the key value pair, right? Based on the key you can retrieve the value, okay, at any given point of time, anywhere. That is called as session. Now once you invalidate, once you kill the session, you will not have any of the variables which you set in the session. You cannot access them anymore, right? It is again, it is independent to the client, which means it depends on the browser. So you can have n number of sessions running at the same time for different users in our website, right? What is my username? It's my username, and that's all. Now, did I connect everything properly? Okay, where is my submit button? Let's go to login.jsp. Where is my submit button? Input type equal to submit, submit value equal to login. Okay, now let's see everything in action. I haven't created homepage, guys, so as a server cannot find homepage.jsp, it will be throwing an error. Be aware of that, but it's accepted. Okay, starting Servlet engine. Okay, perfect. So I created Harish, and it's Harish again. Okay, there is some issue. 404 not found. Validate not available. There is something called validate which is not available. Let's debug the issue. What did we miss? Validate. This is the same thing which I'm using here. Action validate. Okay, let's see what are we missing. VALI DAT validate is not available, does not exist. Okay, what did we miss? Has anybody observed any mistake which we configured, which we talked about here? So request method equal to post, that is fine. What kind of request am I taking? Request method bind annotation, that is perfect, that is correct. Okay, everything is perfect, that is correct, that is correct. Okay, let's try to rerun after validating everything. Validate, perfect. Just want the validation action as this one. I don't want to do anything there. Okay, run as on server. Next, finish. Okay. Okay. So username is Harish, password is Harish, and login. Okay. Okay. There is some internal error, but this went to my Jdbc. If you can see that, right? Arg dot cannot get Jdbc connection, MySQL dot Jdbc dot communication link failure. Okay, let's see what is the error.
It is port number.
I forgot to give port number.
No, it is wrong. I mean, you have specified, I think, 3036.
That's where it is running, I guess.
No, it is 3306, I think.
I am not sure. 3306. Okay.
Yes.
Let me check what is my port number. Where is my server? Server status. I thought I used the same port number from the servlet. Let's see, guys, what I did use in the servlet. Connection utils, my connection 3036. Thanks. That's wrong. 3036 I used. Okay, let's see what will happen right now. Okay. Okay. Data source get connection 80. Chandler. Okay. 80. Again, same Harish and Harish. Login. Okay, this is completely accepted because it is telling home.jsp not found. Okay, so it validated successfully because we do not have any home.jsp. If there is a appropriate view available, it will for sure display. So any questions on this so far we discussed? Pardon the errors, guys. It's part of application development. Okay, we can always fix it. So any questions, guys? So any questions on the flow? Any questions on any kind of annotation which we use so far? Anything? So everybody is clear with the topic, right? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody is clear with the
Yes.
concept so far, whatever we discussed.
Yes.
Yes, Harish.
Cool. Okay. After this, we will see how I can forward a model by setting an object, and how I can receive model from the JSP to controller. Okay, we will see that in some time. Probably take 10 minutes break. I cannot afford to give more than that. I'll just go quickly grab bottle of water. Thank you guys. I'll be back in 10. Why is it not coming? Thank you guys. Sorry for that. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, from 4.x onwards, there is a backward compatibility issue, which means they deprecated some of the uh, methods and classes, okay, in Spring framework. So which means we are not backward compatible if you go up to 4.x. So you have to change the way you do it. We will I'll tell you the exact query for that tomorrow, but for today's class we'll continue. There is some mistake which I did in our program. Okay, if we observe our service, so if you see properly, I am not returning anything, right? I'm just setting the model and I'm just setting the session and based on my if else condition, right? Let's say if my login is unsuccessful, so my control will come here, it will be somewhere 26 and my else will not execute, and that's all. I'll go back to controller, right? And I'm returning home. So tell me guys, is it a valid scenario if even though my even though I'm not appropriate user, okay, to authenticate to get access to my site, should I return to home page?
No.
Perfect.
Mr.
We're not supposed to. So let's do a quick change here. Okay, so let's do this return, and I'll go to declaration. Okay, instead of this void, I'll set it as a string. Okay, there are better ways, but I'm layman way, showing the layman way, right? So I will return, let's say I want to go to login page again. If login is not successful, if it is successful, I want to go to home page. Is it valid scenario, guys?
Yes, no, it's valid.
Right. Now let's see why it is throwing some other exception. Oh, I wrote in the if condition. It's not supposed to be that way. Okay. Perfect. And again, at the end, if something goes wrong, I have to go to login page. Right. I didn't write if provided the username and password is not correct. So what I have to do? I didn't write any validation, right? So there is a better way of writing the logic, but don't let us not waste some time on that. Ah, crap, why is it loading? Sorry guys, just sometimes my PC misbehaves. Okay, so I am returning 3 times. See it here. It's not supposed to be that. This is a very bad programming practice. Okay, we're not supposed to do that. Let's not waste the time here. I will do it in the next method when we do it. I'll show you how to do it in a like if else condition, but I am returning here. That's good. It's not encouraged to write this way. Now okay, sorry, if you guys want me to do a proper way, I'll be doing that. What do you guys say? Else we can continue our class.
Yes, we can follow the coding standard.
Perfect.
Means,
Perfect. Right. Let's observe here. What do I have here? So I am doing a if condition for null check. Then in the else, I am checking again for the valid user, right? So I'm not supposed to return multiple times, either that or this at the end. That's all, right? Let's do this way. So I don't want that. I don't want that, right? It's supposed to be both true, not or. I'm changing it. Okay, I am going here, Control X, I'm just pasting there. Okay, I will be adding this modal message at the end. I don't want to add multiple times. Okay, add attribute message. I don't have to do that if I set the message properly. Okay, so I can go back here. Okay, you can just set this. Okay, is it a better way? Are we doing correctly? Am I repeating the code by any chance anywhere? Earlier I was repeating the modal.add attribute multiple times. Am I doing right now? Am I returning multiple statements? So it's just if condition, if everything passes, just return home.jsp, and everything fails, just return login. Okay guys,
Yeah, it's
accepted?
fine. Yes.
Cool. Okay, now let's see modal in action. Right, we spoke about modal. What is modal? Anybody?
So Pojo, what we will be using for
Yes, example.
transmitting
Pojo
the
is an
data.
example. I told Pojo is just an example. There are many ways. So it's like,
Yeah.
basically I can say it's a carrier. Can I tell it is a carrier? Information carrier
Yes, you can
Yes. Yes.
say to store the data.
to display the data or to store the data from, let's say if a user is giving some input, I can use this model to store the data. Okay, at the same
Yeah.
time,
Something like container.
yeah, just container to, right?
Yes.
Now at this point of time, I have a message in my container, right? Let's say if let's take this, let's talk about this negative scenario where I'm not able to log in because of my username and password is null, right? At this point of time, this is my scenario. My container has something called a message, and the message is username and password should not be null. Let's see that in action. How can I display that? Okay, let's go back to login page, because if you see that properly, I am returning to login page again, right? If there is something issue with the issue with the username and password, if it is not present in the database or if it is null, right? We spoke about JSTL, guys. Remember that? For that, I provided you guys with two tags. Okay, as of now we don't need two tags. You can use only one, but as of now I'm just copy pasting, that's all. We need only C tag. Right, let's see how can I validate the message and how can I display the message to the user for a better understanding. See, it provides everything whatever you need. Whatever you can do in Java, you can do here using C. Like let's say if conditions, I can do redirect, I can do. If you are setting some variable for in a Pojo, if you are setting a variable, a value, you can do that. If you want to iterate over a collection, if you want to iterate over a list of objects, you can do that. Is for loop, C for each. Okay, this is the advantage of JSTL. You don't have to write the Java code here to do your validation or to do your business logic, sorry, to do the view logic. Okay, C test. How can I access a modal attribute? It is simple, using dollar symbol, and you should know the key. There I kept message as my key. Remember guys, message, right? How can I validate? It's simple. If it is not equal to null, any, how many of you guys worked with Linux shell scripting? No. Okay, this syntax will be more or less kind of this equals, not equals, more or less that Linux is just NEEQ like that. Okay, so that's why I just wanted to give an example, but it's okay. Not equal is NEEQ is equals. Okay, it's not equal to null, right? Then what I have to do? I just have to do display. How can I display? That's all. Okay, and that's all. I have to display message. It's completely valid. Let's check this. We will see how we can iterate over a list. I'll show you guys that. But for now, we have only a message, that is a string. We have a string in my container. That's all. Run as no, don't go there. Cancel. Run as on server. Next, finish. I forgot to change my settings. For sure, I'll change my settings tomorrow so that it'll rebuild automatically whenever I change some code. There should be. Okay. Okay, let's say I'm just logging in. There's something wrong with me. Okay, now let's see what is wrong. It's going to validate. Perfect. Everything is perfect. Okay, where is my service? Service. Modal dot add attribute. Okay, modal dot add attribute. That is perfect. Message is perfect. What is the message I'm setting? Message. Okay, everything looks good for me. Then why am I not able to display? View source. It's not coming. See if condition itself is not coming. There is no tags here. Okay, it's a might be a browser issue, guys. Cache. Let's go here. Validate. Not allowed. Yes, that is accepted because I am not going from login. See, okay, session ID. That's what I'm speaking about, guys. Every session will have a ID. Okay, after this, I'll speak about session for better understanding. Now, I will remove this. I'll remove this. I'll log in. There is something wrong. Where is my inspect? No errors, elements, my body, form, username, submit. Okay, what did I miss? What did I miss? Okay. Login.jsp ctest if message not equal to null. So I'm validating the proper message. Submit login. Drop fleet controller. So validate. Perfect. I'm setting model. Model. What kind of model is it? UI model. That is perfect. UI model. Perfect. Add attribute. Add attribute. Is it set attribute? No. Message. Message equal to username or not. Password. Okay. Let's see, guys. I don't know what is wrong with here. Let's debug that. I do not have a log statements, so I'm putting this system out at println. Bear with me, please. Message run as on server. Okay. Where is my login? Where is my login? Still loading. Okay. Oh, for some reason I'm not getting message here. If you see that, let's track that down. Where is my service? For some reason I'm not able to get message. What is happening? Optional of nullable dot is present. It will return false. Perfect. And optional of dot is present. It will return false. For some reason I'm not able to set the message. My if else condition is going into, it's going here. That's weird. Okay. Inside the validate method, okay. Okay, that is a problem. So there is some issue with my if condition. Let's figure out what is
Harish, I think this line number
24.
39 should be at line number 36.
Line number 39 should be at line number. Yes. No. Okay. I will accept that. Line number 36, before writing, I need to send one more. I'll accept that. But in our scenario, forget about this case. So I am checking for not null condition, right? So as per our logic, the code should not enter into this one. So it's not coming as null. Maybe it is coming as empty. That might be the reason. The username will be coming as empty. Let's see. I don't know how many of you guys debugged. If log statements are there, they will be logging everything, including the username, the entry point and exit point of the method, so that it could have been easier. As of now, we don't have, so I'm going with this way. Username, ASSWORD password, ASSWORD password. Okay. Run as server. So my assumption is instead of coming as a null, it is coming as empty strings. That is empty string. It's not coming as a null. That's empty. There is a reason. Understood, guys? Or do you want me to explanation? Basically, if it is null, it will print null. But if you see it here, it's just coming as empty strings. It's just like this. That is the reason our if condition is failing, and it is going here, and it is going to DB, and it's validating, and after else it's coming here. So you guys understood, right? What is wrong with our logic?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
We can fix it. We can fix it. Right. Let's do simple logic again. Username dot, or okay, we can do length. Length should be greater than, okay, when you define the username, there will be terms and conditions that username should be of 8 on length, 8 to 10 characters or 8 to 15 characters. So we can do the same here, but unfortunately I haven't designed any of that way. So I'm just checking the length is 1. Just checking the length is, it should be greater than 1, or let should be greater than 0. Let's name it 1. You can use the condition. Same for password. Be greater than 1. So this will fix that. Password dot length. There are different ways to validate. Okay, I'm just doing a rough validation. This will fix the issue. This will fix our issue. Okay, now there is an internal exception. Handler failed. Exception is lying that unresolved compile time problem. There is a compile time problem. Why are you showing so many problems today? Let's see. Operator is undefined for argument type string. So where did I use? Unresolved compile time error. Truckfleet 26. This is the one. I use length is greater than 1. Length is greater than 1. Okay. You guys see any problem there? Anybody? It is complaining that I cannot use a greater than symbol for a string. It should be of type integer. I am using lengths.
Harish, maybe the username is coming as undefined. Maybe that is why the length function is not.
There is nothing called undefined, if I'm not wrong. It is string. I'm taking string.
Can we use is empty?
Sorry, what is that?
Is empty. Username dot is empty.
Yeah, we can use that. That is a valid thing. We can use that. Is empty. So if it is empty, it will return true. Is empty. But we need to enter only if it is not empty. This is a valid string operation or validation. Okay, we can see that we got it here. So there was a mistake in our code and rectified it. Thank you, guys. So any questions on that? So any questions on anything so far we discussed? I know the persons who has experience, they'll not have any questions. So I don't know who are all freshers and who have experience here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm keep on repeating this sentence again and again. But if you have any questions, please ask me. I will try to explain in as simple words as I can. So no questions. Okay, that is cool. In tomorrow's session, for now we saw how to display the modal objects in a view. In tomorrow's session, how can we take modal object from view to controller? We will see that. At the same time, we'll try to finish this truck fleet application end to end, and then we'll discuss about the SOA if we have time. Okay. And before letting you, okay, who's that? There is a question. Yeah, I'll add for sure. I'll take this. I'll take this. I will. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't finish everything on time today. There were some issues with the code which we wrote and everything. I will try to catch up tomorrow. If we do not have any questions, I will stop recording. I have one.
Harish,
Yes, please. Yes, please.
actually, I have one doubt.
Yep.
Means not in doubt. Actually, should I go for annotation instead? Means we have to configure the data source in XML file. So instead of that, we can use at that configuration annotation. So it reduces the burden and
I
reduces
will
the
get
time
there.
even.
I will eventually get there. This is one way of showing how. Okay.
Mhm.
I couldn't do it everything XML based. I just wanted to show the differences. I just wanted to show how XML and these things work together, and I will eventually move towards everything configuration based. I mean, like annotation based. I know you guys are experienced who have worked. They know what is configuration, how the configuration work, and that's what I'm telling. From my first class, I don't know who are all experienced and who doesn't have experience. So I'm starting from the beginning. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay,
You guys,
Harish. It's
everybody
not
is
an issue.
comfortable. I am happy to go on the advanced Spring Boot completely.
Okay, Harish. It's fine.
Okay, guys, let me stop the recording. I have one quick question for all of you.